Good afternoon, and welcome to tonight's Finance Committee meeting for February the 1st, the year 2021. Before we get into our agenda items tonight, we're going to have a presentation of the Roy Tucker Award of Excellence, and it will be presented by Roy Tucker himself.
Oh, thanks. In 2016, during his State of the City, I was shocked and humbled when then Mayor Bob Coburn called me to the stage and presented me with a newly created award to be named after me. The award, the Roy Tucker Award of Excellence, was to be presented annually to a city employee who, due to his or her professionalism and high standard of achievement, is deserving of special public recognition. Obviously, I was astounded and grateful. Since that time, prior award winners caucus to determine who should be selected as the next recipient. This evening, I have the honor and privilege of announcing the 2020 award winner. This year's recipient began his career with the City of Muskogee in 1995 as a patrolman with the Muskogee Police Department. He was promoted to sergeant in 2002, lieutenant 2004, captain 2008, and deputy chief in 2013. He is a graduate of the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia, a founding member and treasurer of the Oklahoma Special Operations Association, since you can't lick your fingers anymore, it takes a minute to turn the page, which is a statewide organization establishing standards and training for police department SWAT teams. He is also a former member of the Oklahoma Justice Commission, which is a working group comprised of members of law enforcement, the judiciary, and attorneys to review and report on recommendations for eliminating errors leading to wrongful convictions. He is a certified emergency manager, a CLEAT certified instructor, a certified force science analyst with the Force Science Institute, a member of the FBI Violent Crime Task Force, and a peer support team member for Muskogee Police Department. Beyond law and order, this year's recipient spends his limited free time serving local nonprofits. He is a board member and treasurer of Monarch, the second vice president of Women in Safe Home, Inc., and the first vice chair of McCoy's. He has been described as having an indomitable work ethic, a fixer, and a true public servant. Marcia Wiseman of the city manager's office said of him, "When I have to ask him to intervene on any issue related to the police department, whether it be external, internal, or a citizen complaint, he, quote, plays it where it lands, end quote, taking full ownership of the issue and responding to the city manager's office with a resolution and without the requirement of any follow-up. He is available, responsive, and accurate." And with that, I announce this year's recipient of the Roy Tucker Award of Excellence, Deputy Chief Chad Farmer. I forgot the award. And I also believe that Chief Johnny Teehee would like to make a few remarks as well. Chief?
Thank you, Roy. Now, Beth, don't let him fool you. He's got plenty of time for more painting and stuff around the house, so don't let him. Actually, I got a chance to read what Roy was going to say, and he pretty well covered everything. The one thing I can do is echo that. The other thing is, with all the stuff that he listed as far as the things he can do, he really can do those. So I used to say just a couple of days ago, I used to get concerned because I'd go in always trying to get him to do things for me. But now he's got this really cool statue here. I'm like, all right, it's on now. So no, very well deserving. He does a lot of things that go unseen, and I appreciate him very much. So congratulations. It's well deserved.
And I believe that Chad has his wife and one of his daughters here, Beth and Shane, who will come up for a photo. Johnny, you want to come over?
Jamie. Took about 10.
Any comments?
I want to say thanks, Chief. Thank you, Roy. I appreciate it, and the committee that selected me. And it's been a short 26 years, and unfortunately, you're stuck with me for several more. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Our mayor is absent on tonight, and he sends his greetings on tonight. I want to make clear that he's not out due to COVID or anything, but he and I in the year 2021 will both be in our final years of our youth. We'll both be 49, and I believe that old age is catching up with him a little bit early tonight. He's fine, but he wants me to let you guys send the greetings tonight from the mayor. So with that being said, we're going to our agenda at this time. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of January 4th, 2021.
Move for approval. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve our minutes. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. Item number 1 passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments December 27, 2020 through January 22nd, 2021.
We have a report from the purchasing committee.
Yes, the committee did meet this afternoon, and we approved all the claims, so I move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve our claims list. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. Item number 2 passes. Item number 3, please.
Consider approval to authorize submission of letters of intent to the City of Muskogee Foundation for fiscal year 2021-2022 grant cycle for city projects as follows. A, Juvenile and Adult Community Service Program, $100,000. B, Muskogee Police Department Bearcat Armored Vehicle Special Operations, $200,679. C, Teen Center and Youth Volunteer Corps Program, $130,000. D, Mobile Stage, $100,000. E, Hatbox Baseball Improvements, $115,000. F, Depot District Train Tram, $100,000. And G, Demolition Cleanup, $300,000, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Miller?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. We'll start off in honor of our Roy Tucker of Excellence Award winner with the police Bearcat Armored Vehicle for the Special Operations Team, which Deputy Chief Farmer has led and is an expert on around the state for special operations. We currently have a vehicle for our Special Operations Team to use. We acquired that vehicle through a federal surplus program, and we are not able to get its replacement through that program. So we have a need as that vehicle is wearing out. The council has appropriated funds through our mid-year budget and special project fund to begin that process. And so what we're asking is to ask the City of Muskogee Foundation to fund the rest of that, and that would be in the amount listed, $200,679. We think that would be a very good use of foundation funds. The next 2 or 3 I want to talk to you about are parks related. I'll ask Mark Wilkerson to come forward. He may help me on a couple of these. The first one is the Teen Center and the Youth Volunteer Program. Both of these are run out of our Teen Center and are important for us to have ongoing operations. The next one is for $115,000 for Hatbox. We would match that through our CIP funds. And for, as you can see, for improvements to the baseball complex, including the concrete walkways, concession stand, and other facilities that improve the quality of life and help us with our tourism efforts as we host tournaments, as COVID allows, of course. Number 3, a mobile stage, which is very important as we move into an era where we have the Depot District and additional events out at Hatbox. This will basically allow us to have a stage that we can use at multiple venues within the city without requiring rental from a third party, and it will pay for itself quickly over time. And then lastly, I'm going to ask Mark to come up and talk about the Depot District. Our new Depot Green is open. As we're looking to figure out how to best program it and make use of that area, Mark has an innovative idea that I want him to run past you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Just the Depot Green District, of course, has worked to get the Depot Green built, and so in our planning time of how we're going to program and operate the Depot Green, the idea came up about it's a trackless train idea. So we've been looking at it for several years. The Parks Department has. We first thought about trying to purchase one to use at Honor Heights Park, specifically during the Garden of Lights. But as we got the Depot Green developed and we started thinking about what we're going to use, how we're going to use that space year-round, and even including Christmas time, I thought that if we had a train operating during the Christmas season with a lot of lights in that area, that it would become an attraction for families to come to our downtown area. We get thousands of people coming to Honor Heights Park already, so we don't really need that additional item. So I thought bringing it downtown would be, but not just using it for Christmas time, but for year-round. So it's something that we think that will generate traffic and tourism, and it's family-related, and can make help make our Depot Green a successful venue.
So thank you, Mark. The next item that we have is for our demolition and cleanup program. We're requesting $300,000 from the City Muskogee Foundation. The council's made it a strategic priority to try and clean up the city and to have funds available that as soon as the House goes through the condemnation process, that we're able to remove it and keep our city looking as nice as it can. And then lastly, on this list is the Juvenile Adult Community Service Program, a program operated from Mr. Tucker's City Attorney Office. It's an outstanding program, probably one of the most successful in the city, in that it saves us money and does great work in the community. And it's absolutely a fantastic program. The foundation has been very good about funding it in the past, and we're requesting $100,000 for that program. Lastly, I spoke with the mayor earlier today, and he has a proposal that we may try and consider next week when we have the council meeting, related to downtown improvements specifically. That's not on the agenda, not for voting, but is related to City Muskogee letters of intent that we may propose. He'll be able to outline that more next week, and I just wanted to give you a heads up if you hear talk about that. That's an item that he may consider proposing as well. But that being said, we do recommend approval of these letters of intent. Knowing that the City Muskogee Foundation may not fund all of them, but we want to give them the opportunity to take a look at these and move them forward. So if you have questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, we do recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this agenda item. Do we have any questions? I do have a question, Mike. When are the letters of intent actually due?
The letters are due February 11th, so we've made sure that we have, that's why we come to committee at this time, and then we go to full council next Monday, and then after it receives full council approval, whatever we receive full council approval to submit, then we will submit before that February 11th deadline.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jared Creed.
Yes. Item number 3 passes. Item number 4.
Consider approval to receive donated funds for the months of September, October, November, and December 2020 for a total of $7,569 for the city's animal shelter sponsorship program as per the attached list, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Garber?
Mr. Chair and members of the committee, the animal shelter received $2,415 in September, $2,220 in October, $1,464 in November, and $1,470 in December, for a total of $7,569 in donated funds to go towards the City of Muskogee Animal Shelter Sponsorship Program. I recommend approval to receive said funds. Be glad to answer any questions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve this agenda item. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes. Item number 4 passes, and with that passing, that is our final item for our Finance Committee.
We will now open the Public Works Committee for February 1st, 2021. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of January 4th, 2021.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this order. We will now open the public hearing.
We need to do a roll call.
Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Well, you can tell we've had a week off, can't you? We will now open the public hearing and listen to Ms. Tish Callahan, please.
I need to read the item first. Hold a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 4112A to close the 60-foot right-of-way shown as Evenpar Avenue, lying between lots 1 through 3 of Bushwood Circle Addition, more particularly described in the ordinance, providing for severability and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Callahan.
Yes. Thank you. I've opened the public hearing, and I had my items out of order. I apologize. This is a request to close the right-of-way that is identified as Evenpar Avenue. It is located south of the Eagle Crest Addition. It was developed for the Bushwood Circle. It was determined after the construction of the east side that there was probably, and it was hard to determine if there was the required 6 inches of concrete on that side. There was on the west side. And rather than having to re-pour or prove that there was the 6 inches and have to re-pour the one half of the cul-de-sac, the developers have chosen to close and vacate the public right-of-way, and they would then be maintained by the city, by the property owners, developers, and not by the city. Staff and Planning Commission recommend approval. I can answer any questions.
Ms. Chairman, I'll be recognized.
Yes.
Ms. Chairman, I'm sorry.
We need to close the public hearing. Well, no, we need to leave it open
No.
for you.
You're fine.
Ready?
Go ahead, Mr. Van, yes.
Yes, I went out there on this project right here. I'm very familiar with this. And that was not, and I'll repeat, was not 6 inches of concrete. We measured it. It was 3 7/8 of concrete. Plus, it did not have rebar. So I'm glad that we're not taking this into the city because, like I said, that's been a bad mistake. And, you know, this is the first time on a project that I went out and looked at, me and Mr. Hopkins that comes up here from Eagle Crest. First time I ever got a police officer called on me saying I was trespassing on this piece of property right here, to which we wasn't. He was measuring the concrete. So, like I said, I'm just glad this item is not going to be in city's hands because the work was not done properly. And that's just what that's just what I think about it. And I just, like I said, I could not believe it that I got the police called on me for out there looking at something. I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Move for approval.
Second.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Definitely.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
And the motion passes. Item number 3,
Hold a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance 4113A, annexing into the city limits property located at 6,000 West Broadway, more particularly described in the ordinance, and authorize staff to revise the official map of the city to reflect said change or take other necessary action.
We will now open the public hearing. Ms. Callahan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Committee members, this is a request from Cincy Properties LLC. They own the mobile home park that is located on this property. It is addressed as 6000 West Broadway, and they've requested to be annexed in order to receive city services. Currently, they do receive water. They would like to extend their sewer and remove the lagoon that they're using and connect to the city's sewer system. It does currently abut the city limits. As you'll see the outline in red, and then the highlight, that is the current city limits. And upon annexation, they will receive the R5 mobile home zoning classification to comply with their existing use. Staff and Planning Commission recommend approval. Be happy to answer any questions.
We did not have anybody signed up to speak. We'll close the public hearing. Is there any discussion from the council?
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
And the motion passes. Item number 4.
Hold a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance 4114A to rezone property addressed as 3120 North York Street from P Port Industrial to I-1 Light Industrial, and if approved, authorize staff to revise the official zoning map of the city to reflect said change or take other necessary action.
We will now open the public hearing. Ms. Callahan?
Thank you, Madam Chair, committee members. This is a request from Behe Properties LLC. It is to rezone from the current zoning of P Port Industrial to I-1 Light Industrial. The request is to allow for the existing motocross track to be open to the public. As you'll see, the area that's outlined in yellow is the property requesting to be rezoned. And then we have the site, which is zoned P Port Industrial. As you see, this is the entire site from the south to the north. All along the North York Street, it is 3210. I switched the numbers on the agenda, I apologize for that, but it is 3210 North York. This is to the north, it is P Port Industrial. Then to the south is I-1 Light Industrial. It also takes in the Muskogee Church of Christ under the I-1. And then to the east, I was not able to get over in there to take a picture of the property that is to the east, but it is wooded, undeveloped property. My understanding it may be part of what's protected is the Fort Davis on the National Historic Register. But it is zoned R1 single family. And then you have to the west, you have Highway 16, which is, and then outside city limits. Along there. So the property is 3210 North York. It is currently zoned P Port Industrial. They requested the I-1 Light Industrial to meet the outdoor amusement activity. Staff and Planning Commission recommend approval. And the property owner is here if you have any questions other than what I can answer.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, we will close the public hearing. Is there any discussion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Item number 5 and number 6, I believe Deputy Mayor says this will be struck from the agenda.
That's correct. Marlon is not here tonight, and so we'll move those to next Monday night's council meeting if we can strike those 2 items, please.
Then this will close our public hearing.
You mean it'll close the meeting?
Yes, our meeting. I'm sorry.